All right, so once again, I'm live on this early afternoon edition. I'll break down a little bit of the Crown Con. We have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I know they celebrate since the Mayo and all this.
Yeah, say whatever.
Then on Tuesday, we're gonna have Biden. He's gonna probably talk about International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Probably sign that bill for anti-Semitism on that same day, probably. Might need to pull that bill up again. Make sure people really understand it. You know what, Frank? I'm gonna do something today. I usually don't do this, but those 10 minutes, and y'all probably should donate to the brother. Dan Muhammad, he put out a lot of good information out there in Baltimore. I fixed my phone yesterday, and I'm gonna play a little bit of that clip of what he said today, because me and him were talking about this for a long time about this, what they got going on, and now they're using these protests to fill that momentum to take out. Organizers. This is a number according to that program, to be honest with you, but this is how they run with it. But before I get with that, because I know they said me and Chak and Dawson were talking yesterday about literacy and things like that, right? And it was like the U.S. literacy of children who can't read and things like that. But what was even more interesting, that how you be able to read if you can censoring books. Amazon censoring books. And listen to this.
Censors books. I know you are shocked, but now we have proof that Amazon did the bidding of the Biden administration during the COVID-19 pandemic. This comes from Representative Jim Jordan, who released part 2 of the Amazon files on his X account. And it shows that the Biden administration worked or works still, I'm going to go with works still, with Amazon to remove or hide books that they don't want you to read from readers. These are internal emails that Congress received from Amazon showing that employees were working to suppress books that were specifically critical of vaccines. In fact, we have heard this from our own reporting. A few months ago, we had Regina Wattiel. She's a she's a statistician. She wrote the book Fisman's Fraud about the hate science that the Canadian government uses to torture the unvaccinated. The first time we spoke with her, we had an extra redacted conversation. We haven't played this for you before. This is what she said to us after the segment ended about what happened when she tried to sell this book on Amazon initially.
Amazon has been playing, some games, I believe. When I went, the day of publication, all the links to Amazon were actually disabled. And so nobody could even buy it on Amazon for the first week. So I had to do a lot of running around. And then when they finally did put the links back on, I cannot advertise through Amazon because of the content. So I can't even put out Amazon ads.
Okay. Why would Amazon do this for a book? Why? To readers? Because her book lays out all of the fake math models that the Canadian government used to torture the unvaccinated and falsely say that the unvaccinated were a threat to the vaccinated and then take away the civil liberties of the unvaccinated. Now, knowing that this happened to someone we know, I don't know her in person, but I feel like we all know her because she comes on Redacted and tells her amazing story. So given that happened to someone we know, it makes sense now when we look at these internal emails. Take a look at this. This is an email that came, these are internal emails from Amazon saying, okay, here's some talking points from the briefing with the White House today, talking about asking us to remove books or search filters or somehow downrank search filters. Now, here is an email that came directly from the White House. This one is from White House Senior COVID-19 Advisor Andrew Slavitt. Does that name sound familiar? If you are thinking that it does, I'll remind you who that guy is. He's named in the lawsuit that's currently in front of the Supreme Court, where the states of Louisiana and Missouri sued the Biden administration and this guy also because they were censoring information online about COVID-19, not just about vaccines, but other things too. So this guy sent this email to Amazon saying that, we need to talk about the high levels of propaganda and misinformation and disinformation on Amazon. So Amazon said, okay, we'll jump right to it. You say jump, we say how high. And what they did here in this email, you see what it says here, we're going to create a DNP class for anti-vax books. What do they mean by DNP? That means do not promote. So Regina Wattiel, her book is not anti-vax. It's about math models that were used against the unvaccinated. She does not talk about the effectivity or what's in the COVID vaccine. That's not in the book. She's talking about the models about vaccination rates, and her book was censored. So clearly she was put on a do not promote list.
So it's hard to win basically when you're getting censored. That's what's going on here.
Man.
That's what's going on here. So I mean it's what it is, but people just need to know that you don't have an opposing right of view right now. Let me play this for you.
Because she can't.
I open up another tab, hold tab. Hold on. I got it. Here you go. And you know I do not like our shopping.
Let me say this, the politics of that, what is being robbed by them not doing that, Joe, where you and I agree, how do the Democrats, how do all of us on that side say January 6th was wrong if you can have the same pictures going on college campus?
Good Lord, don't make a parallel with January 6th.
You lose the moral high ground.
That has happened, though.
Okay,
that has happened.
So we know what's going on here, just the latest from the AP, and then we're going to go live to the scene.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have I told you?
Now, you see how she cut him off from talking about January 6th? You saw that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, you won't believe this. How about she said the same thing a couple of days earlier, but she told Al Shop, you keep your mouth shut. You don't talk about it. Yes, sir.
Interesting.
She told him, don't. As a matter of fact, Joe Scarborough said, if you're too stupid, cut off the channel. Let me find it.
Well, he said that?
Yes.
Damn, they talking out Sharpton like, man.
No, he was talking to the viewers on that one.
Riots from the woke extremists on these college campuses. This kind of looks like January 6th. And if you notice, during that clip, Mika Brzezinski flipped out, right, when he said that. It was like, oh, don't break up January 6th. But it's just so funny because a few days earlier, she compared the riots from the woke extremists to January 6th.
Well, Richard, to your point, I think that's the place we've all been sitting in watching this going, what the hell is going on? What are these universities doing? Why aren't they doing something? And I'll echo the horror that this does look like January 6th. What a terrible example for our students. At the same time, these are young adults. And the question is, why do you choose to learn about the complexities of other situations around the world. But this one, you want to set up an encampment. This one, you want to scare people. This one, you want to come to the edge of violence or even go to violence.
Not the
this
edge.
one,
They're
you
breaking into
risk
buildings.
your future and your education for. See, I think these college students obviously are missing the part where they need to see what's going on across the country with these protests, that it's now in the realm of violence. It's in the realm of hatred, whether some are peaceful or not. They need to watch the news.
Yeah. So apparently one of Mika Brzezinski's handlers, maybe it was somebody from the
All of those things.
freak out over what is happening on college campuses and realizing that, hey, this makes Democrats look bad, told viewers to change the channel. If you are too progressive, aka stupid, to understand that what these woke communists are doing on these college campuses is making Joe Biden look bad and helping Trump.
But I can tell you the riots on college campuses, the riots at the Chicago Convention in '68, all of those things moved my family from being Democrats their entire life to being Republicans. I remember I was young, and I remember my parents asking, what in the world is going on in this country? And of course, you know, they were raised in the Great Depression in rural Georgia. Kind of hard for them to hear rich kids on campus of Harvard or taking over campuses at Columbia. But if you're offended by this, please, I'm trying to help you. I don't want Donald Trump to get elected, all right?
There you go.
Trying to help you. If you're too stupid to figure that out, you change to another channel, because we're sorting through this as a country, and this is not helping. This is not helping the people of Gaza.
Damn.
This is not helping those of us who want to fight fascism in America. But Richard, do you remember 60?
What does that got to do with fascism?
If you too stupid, change the damn channel. That's what he told you. You too stupid. That's right. I said, man, they talk real greasy, don't they, Frank and Chak? Huh?
Yeah, just sending that money to Ukraine and Israel. That's fascism. That's against what the people. We're not for that. And then they're doing that with aligning themselves with these big big sponsors and shit. These big corporate sponsors. Yeah, come on, man. That's fascism. You know what I'm saying? That the government and the government and big business government and big business come together. What you call that?
Chak, if you too stupid, change the damn channel.
Well, see, that lets you know they pushing narrative.
They tough.
They're pushing
They're
narratives.
gangsters.
Yeah, they're pushing narratives, man. That's all it is. I'm trying to tell you, basically trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? They're giving you, trying to tell you what to think, trying to tell you how to feel, how to react to shit. Crazy.
Chak, what do you think about that, Chak?
Say what now? That shit was breaking up and skipping. I couldn't really hear all the information coming through and breaking up.
Oh, well, basically she said January 6th. She said that she had said a couple of days later, but Al Sharpton said that she was like, don't you compare what's going on in college camp January 6th. And Joe Scarborough, or the co-host that was on there with us, said that he don't want Donald Trump to get elected. And he was saying, if you're too stupid to understand what the news media is breaking down, you cut the damn channel off and turn to another station, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have no comment.
But hi, well, yeah. Because it's really weird that I like. Damn, y'all talking to your audience like that? That's how y'all talking to people now. I get it.
Yeah, man. It's crunch time. It's crunch time. Huh? Yeah.
Now check this out. Because Frank, they keep on mentioning 1968, don't they? Keep on mentioning 1968, don't they? Don't they keep mentioning that?
Yep, you know it.
Keep on mentioning it. I might need it. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Well, yeah, let me play this because this is down here with me, actually.
that got out of control, but you did see more than 2,000 folks arrested. So it's spread everywhere. What do you think of this? How bad this gets, or how widespread this gets?
Well, we're not doing crazy in Virginia. That's why we were elected. The people understood that you have to have moral law and order, and people need to be safe in their neighborhoods. And that's why you're seeing that. Governor Youngkin has really cracked down and said, you're not putting down the first tent peg. You can, of course, peaceably assemble. You can exercise your First Amendment rights. But we are going to ensure that Jewish students are safe, that their parents know that they're safe. And the minute that you decide that you're going to turn a supposedly peaceful protest into violence, well, then no, you've got to go. And by the way, we're seeing professionals who have come into Virginia, and that's why they have been arrested. Today, we have for our VCU folks who both the students and the professionals who came, they're going to be arraigned today, as well as those at Tech. And we're just not having it. People need to know that their safety. No, we're not having
exactly what that is.
Governor, the reason why I ask is a number of schools have tried to negotiate with these protesters at Northwestern, at Brown, at Rutgers, various methods where they say, all right, we will put up a measure to put up for a vote, whether we divest in Israeli companies. That's a popular one, and that's what Brown and Rutgers are doing. Northwest is doing a couple of other things, but basically it's that approach. What do you think of that?
Well, what I think is these college, university professors and the leaders and presidents, they need to get a hold and get a grip of what's going on their campuses. What you are seeing is a takeover. No, you're not in charge. If you're the president, you're supposed to be in charge. You're supposed to take authority and keep everyone safe. You don't negotiate with people who are destroying your buildings. You don't negotiate with people who you see them showing up with helmets. They're showing up with gas masks. We have seen here in Virginia where you have pickup trucks dropping off rocks and sticks, bear sprays, and all of that. Police were assaulted. Have we not learned anything? So we need not weak leaders. We need leaders who understand your first job is to make sure campus is safe for everyone.
So I assume by what you're saying, Joe Biden's saying to the effect, Governor, dissent is healthy, but protest must be lawful. That doesn't cut it. He's got to say something stronger. How would you advise him?
Well, thankfully, finally, our president has showed up, because when all of this started, he was absent. But then this is normal for him. He's been absent at the border. I went to the border recently, and I can tell you the nightly news, they're not telling us the truth. You have people who have been raped. There are such places as rape trees that the poor folks trying to come across, they're coming across legally, but they're being raped there. You have children who are being taken from their parents as they're coming across by the cartels. We're not safe.
Stop that video right quick.
The president, who's actually
Who is this speaking?
This is Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. I met her before.
Okay, now what is her point? What's she making? What's she making with this conversation? I'm not understanding.
Well, the original conversation about what happened in Richmond on Monday night and going on in Virginia Tech and these college campuses. I told you Monday night when I was coming home across the highway, there was a lot of friction going on downtown because of these protests that popped up, right?
Right.
And they got, let's put it this way, I mean, police went out there, they started spraying people, tear gas, et cetera, et cetera. Her and Youngkin already told these protesters, look, y'all can come and protest, but you ain't gonna be none of that putting up these tents and everything. You put the tents up, you got to go. And they started trying to put them encampments up, and they basically got them out of there. That's what happened. That's what y'all know. It was happening Virginia Tech, Richmond. And that first picture of Richmond, I know where that's at because I pass there all the time. Because they probably tried to set it up in Monroe Park. Because we used to have a tent city here in Richmond before the pandemic. And that was homeless people, and they made them move. So I don't know where they put the homeless at now, but yeah, okay, but yeah, that's what's really going on. was talking about shit, been down to the border after that. But really, to tell you the whole conversation about what happened, what's going on in Virginia, they not gonna let these people set up these encampments and just run havoc on these college campuses. That was at VCU, and VCU right in the heart of downtown. VCU got more property than anybody downtown. Right? Matter of fact, if anything downtown, VCU won't. They get first bid on it. If they don't want it, then you as a private investor get it. VCU runs downtown, bro. So.
So her point was they're trying to keep these illegals out of the city. What? Making it sanctuary the city.
They're trying to keep these people who is at these college campuses, because a lot of people have found out that most of the people that's protesting is not even going to these schools. They just moving around. Like she said, they've been coming with bear spray and helmets and things like that, and they got like trucks or moving vans that's bringing them all this equipment.
Okay, well in that sense, then they could be identified or similar to January 6th. Then, whether it's right or wrong, it could be. They're just the makeup, like you said, the similarities of the groups going to protest, whether they're protesting for whatever their belief is. You know what I mean? Whatever they believe something was right or wrong. Yeah, of course, yes. Now you consider that because, like you said, of course.
I get it, but there are a lot of people, people getting their feelings. Hey, look, man. Bear spray, gas mask, like getting a little bit, man. Hey, look, man. Wartime, baby. That's what I call it. Sound like somebody at war. What you think, Frank? Somebody at war here, don't you?
Yeah, this is. But I've been saying that a lot. I've been saying that a couple weeks ago. Like these people, most people didn't go to the school. You know what I'm saying? Unless these people getting paid too, man. And then why would you go on a college campus if you don't even go there and then protest, right?
Of course they're getting paid. That's the goal, baby. That's the goal, baby. Hey, look. Yeah, they're getting paid.
Especially if you don't go there. Why would you even go there and protest? You don't even go there. That don't make no sense,
I go there to cause confusion, man.
Right. Cause some havoc in this mug, right?
Now, let me see if I can pull this up. This might be kind of hard to do. But, I gotta get that brother cash out too, man. Let me get that brother cash out. Man, fuck it. I'm gonna pull it up like this. All right, so let me now hold on. I'm gonna pull up this thing and I'm gonna talk over it because let me pull this up because me and Chak and Dawson had a good conversation yesterday about it. If I can find the damn thing. I knew I posted the motherfucker up there. No, I must didn't. Okay, I don't know. I'll go back and find it though. Might have put it up through my Google search. Or one of these other searches. Because I know I put this up there. We talked about some illicit rates and things like that. What time is it right now? Okay, so maybe I didn't. All right. All right, that's okay. This whole thing.
And what Vanguard and State Streets want for the state of Maryland, which is supposed to be a next economic free trade zone over at that port. That's why that port is so important.
That's Darren Muhammad right there.
Because it goes out into, of course, the Atlantic Ocean, Chesapeake Bay into the Atlantic Ocean. That port is very important, okay? To not just the city of Baltimore, the state of Maryland, but the world and the globalists for their plans in terms of what they got for that port right now, okay? And we saw where, I think, as I told you, one of the insurance companies was Chubb Insurance, right? I told you before others. I'm listening to C4 and we know. That's because you don't do no research. They don't do no research over there, man. They just read the headlines. They ain't got no researchers. They ain't got no real producers. Their real producers are just engineers. They ain't got no producers. My 16-year-old do more research than they do. They don't do most of these radio stations now, black, brown, red, yellow, and white. They got to listen to shows like this so that they know what's really going on. They don't have their pulse on the fingers of the community. They ain't got no boots on the ground in the community. So they got to listen to little small frequency radio stations like this, podcasts, so they really know what's going on, man. And that's black, brown, red, yellow, and white. Black radio stations don't know what's going on in your community. They really don't. And you can tell by what's going on on the campuses right now. You ain't seeing one protest at a black HBCU. With all these so-called protests going on around the country against, of course, the racism, placism, spacism, the Zionism, the killing of Palestinians in Palestine, right? Now, never mind, of course, your president of the United States, Joe Biden, hadn't passed one bill that's been straight for blacks and blacks alone, right? So the only school that even lifted up or said anything was Morehouse. But the black Boule presidents and, the Eastern Star presidents, in terms of the women, clearly must have gotten the message from the powerful members of the Jewish community that give, philanthropic donations, right, for control over their institutions and universities. All these demonstrations are going on at TWI, traditionally white institutions, or TWUs, traditionally white universities, right? If you play the story straight. On the black college campuses, they quiet as a church mouse pissing on some cotton in between the pews, man. You don't hear nothing from them. And during this turbulent 60s, the height of the Black Power movement, all the activities against war, against racism, placism, spacism, sexism, right? Against apartheid was always on the what? HBCU campuses. The first shooting took place. Today is May the 4th. The killing on Kent State, May 4th, 1970 or 71. But before that, there was Orangeburg, South Carolina, where 3 young black men was killed by National Guard in South Carolina, 1968 or 69. They don't talk about that, right? When no commemoration on no black college campus this week, to my knowledge, about the Orangeburg massacre, okay? You ask the Negro about Orangeburg massacre now, they say, who you talking about, Clemson versus South Carolina? What you talking about, the football game? What you talking about, NCAA? They don't know the history. History ain't being taught, okay? But these protests or show tests or hoe tests that you have not students, but you have professionals who are being brought in, agent provocateurs. They're no more than similar to what we saw in Russia and Russian countries with the Orange Revolution, the Purple Revolution, and 2011, the Arab Spring, right? So these are being orchestrated, again, CIA orchestrated, right? George Soros sponsored, paid for events, as we saw with Black Lives Matters, not lives, but lies, because they still killing black folk in the hood. But you say Black Lives Matters, you say, to who? If it was a police officer killing a black man, you got something to say. If it was another black killing another black, you quiet too. Your ass ain't saying nothing. He ain't have enough nap time, lap time, rap time. You know what I mean? He ain't got no wraparound services. While you wrapping your loved one, putting them in the coffin, putting them in the ground, you making all kind of excuses for the perpetrator, but not for the victim and the victim family and the children that now got to grow up without a mother or father. And most of them being killed are young black men. You got young black women being killed as well. But you don't want to have them conversations. But let a cop, if that's real, put his knee on somebody, and it's the same script as what you saw in Ferguson, or the same script of what you saw in New York with Eric Gardner, and you were able to figure that out. Say, man, you ain't got an Arab that didn't put that neck on like that. You ain't got a Jew that didn't put that neck on like that. You ain't got an Indian that didn't put that neck on like that. A midget, an albino. There was always a black man that didn't put that neck on like that. You don't see through that script by now, and I can't help you. And you keep falling forward. He ain't put it. Wait a minute. He ain't got no Arabs. He ain't put, with all the fighting going on at the campuses. They ain't grab an Indian woman, right? They ain't grab a lesbian, put that neck on her, put that knee on her. Always a black man, you ready to run with it. We got to do something about that. Meantime, bodies piling up at the morgue, so many, they ain't even doing autopsies on them. They say we ain't got enough assistant medical examiner. Just put them in the casket, put them in the basket. Make sure you get them organs on the way out. Make sure you get them organs because they didn't use them. He only 20. Make sure you get them organs. He only 21. Make sure you get them organs. We can use them. We're going to put them on not the black market. We're going to put them on the international market. He ain't used them. He ain't used them kidneys, them spleens. Oh, what else can we? Oh, let me get them retinas too. We can use them too. So this is what you see that's taking place right now, right? On the campuses, but most people don't see the bigger picture. So while these campus protests supposedly are taking place, and it's absent what we saw in the 60s in terms of the labor being involved, unions being involved, clergy or spiritual leaders being involved as well. There's no teachings going on. People tell me, you got to go online. We tell you what we protested. No, ain't no good. You ain't telling protesters go online. You told them get in line, bring them tents, bring them pallets, bring them chains, bring them plexi cuffs. You say, wait a minute, what? That's them Antifa tactics. And the president over at Johns Hopkins, clearly, he's either a part of it or somebody in his administration is a part of it. And in Virginia, Youngkin and the black woman who's the lieutenant governor, they say you come and protest, but you ain't putting no tents up nowhere. But yet on Johns Hopkins campus, they done let them put up tents. They let them bring pallets. They got bricks on the walls over there. And all the students that are paid, that come from around the country and around the world, all them South Koreans, right? The Indians, the Chinese, they done paid about $100,000 a year to go to school up there. After 4 years, they done paid as much as Marilyn Mosby made, $400 grand. Now you think I'm paying $500,000 for my child to go to school, and your ass gonna put some Palestinian signs over there where my children got to go take pictures at for graduation? You're really about to have some problems up there, man. But clearly, all of this is not organic. And it comes just as the ADL launched their Not On My Campus program. It comes just as Congress comes back from Easter recess and Congress or spring break, right? And Congress is now passed HR, I think it's 6090 or 960. I think it's 6090, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which now through Title 9 or Title 10 of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, that they now will put a Jewish monitor. What you hear me well, because this is the next phase of what they coming with since the pandemic, scamdemic, transdemic that we were telling you they coming with. Just as they targeted anybody that put through the Department of Homeland Security, that whatever you posted, they say is misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation, and they will soon want to charge you, fine you, or arrest you. And they're going to do the same thing on the college campuses. And anybody that posts anything about BlackRock, about Larry Fink, about Vanguard, about State Street, about George Soros, if you post anything about the Holocaust, right? And this week, tomorrow, I think is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, right? Not Holocaust Memorial Day, which is in April. Holocaust Remembrance Day, okay? So they're going to have Biden. He already gave one little speech the other day. He's going to give a major speech probably tomorrow. So keep your eye open on it. But they will now say they want an anti-Semitic monitor on every college campus. And they're going to turn your college campuses, as I've been telling you, into, it's like you got smart cities. They got smart grids. They got these 15-minute cities. They got smart homes. Now they're going to roll out the smart college campuses. And all your presidents better comply. They're going to keep a report card on it. Now, for black folk, right, with everything that's been going on your campuses, they say we got a monitor that's going to monitor racism. They're going to monitor anybody running around using this word and that word and targeting black students. No, you ain't getting that. So it lets you see how they use power, and it lets you see who really is controlling things. Or you be talking about, they ain't got no power. The hell they don't. I know K.Y.'s Whitehead, she say she's scared to even bring it up over there on the airways of Morgan State University. She won't even bring it up. And if she do, it's NFL, baby, not for long. She said, I'm going to touch that topic and get up off of it. But they control your HBCUs. To the point that your HBCUs, they're not even sending out a letter of support to say, as during South Africa apartheid and black college campuses and white college campuses, right? And even the state of Israel work to get again, citizens of goodwill and university to divest from South African corporations like Ford, Mercedes, Coca-Cola, American Express, right? That they divested from South Africa corporations. Then they went after tobacco companies and divested from tobacco companies. Then they went after companies that was tied to the Sudans and blood diamonds and divested from the Sudans and blood diamonds, right? Then they said we're going to divest from corporations that are tied to prisons like Correctional Corporation of America and G4S Security. So they were able to get companies and universities. Columbia led the charge. They were one of the first colleges to do it. So it's interesting that they can do it towards South Africa. But Israel is a whole nother monkey. It's a whole nother filter fish, right? It's a whole nother yarmulke. Now you're talking about Israel. And what South African government didn't do was they at least did not overtly target, right, the citizens, the universities, the students that talked about boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Israel and the Israeli lobby, the ADL, right, they have gone totally, mad to the point that they say anybody that posts about boycott, divestment, and sanction, anybody that talks about boycotting BlackRock, which has an office in Tel Aviv, anybody that talks about taking money out of Bank of America, which has an office over there, right? Then we want to charge you with anti-Semitism. This is what they're doing to up the antes right now. And most people don't even see it coming. And Biden is working with them, man. Most people don't even see. And you got to never be talking about a Trump get back in there, you in trouble. Biden and Biden administration is working with him. Hey, you're talking about the 2025 plan. Hey, I'm talking about what they're doing to you in 2024. And you're ready about 2025. And if Trump get back in. So this is what's taking place right now. And we know Soros. And in Chicago, they really showed their hand. What's his name? Obama's boy came out. As we've been telling you that Obama and them, they're the ones that's behind it. In terms of, again, Obama, My Brother's Keeper Alliance, the Obama Foundation, they bankrolling it through Act Blue. They bankrolling it through many of these Jewish groups that Obama has been working with for years. Your governor's in on it. How do you know? He's the most prominent graduate here in Maryland from Johns Hopkins University. He didn't open his mouth up about it. At least in Virginia, Youngkin's talking about it. The lieutenant governor's talking about it. Your governor, who claimed the fame is he was a Rhodes Scholar, the first Rhodes Scholar to graduate from Johns Hopkins, and he ain't opened his mouth up about what's happening up there, right? So that's how you know they ain't on it, man. That's all I'm saying. But when the dust settles, they will bring in more biometrics, more AI, right? Where they're gonna watch every move you make, every step you take, everything you post. In terms of your children that's going to college on these colleges.
All right, well, that was Brother Darren Muhammad. Shout out to him. He had a show earlier today at 12 o'clock, but he's always puts out good information. You can get him at the official state of the city of Baltimore. Me and him been talking about this anti-Semitism thing for a long time. We've been bringing it up. I call him all show every week or something, tell him, hey man, this, we talk about it a lot of time, like, yo, and now we're at the pinnacle of what they're trying to do, right? HR 6090, which I'm about to play in a second. But they done got so devious with it, which I told you, Frank, months ago. They even said, if you even said to boycott Israel or say that you don't want to die, you want to divest, charge them because you're being anti-Semitic. You but not boycott.
Wow.
That's how deep they ready to go with this thing. They like you say, Santa Claus say you button out shout. You say BlackRock controlling it, they won't say you're anti-Semitic. You want to take your money out of Bank of America like you were telling you. They're saying you're anti-Semitic. They saying anything you say anti-Semitic, and they also saying they can change the language at any time to fit what they want.
Interesting.
Shaq, what do you think about that? Oh, Chad. Let me pull up this.
So so they're basically going after. They're going
What
after
you think
First
about that? Because he was saying a lot in there, but it just go to show you how far they ready to go with this thing, Chak. They going all the way.
Well, you know, that's why I'll be pointing out the people that look like us that agree that use this cannon fodder, right? When we had these conversations, they say, "Oh, it's not about race, it's not about this, not this," but they clearly see other individuals doing some weak ass shit. You know what I mean? Right?
Man.
And I'm meaning they can always bring up times when allegedly other groups were into some type of turmoil, trying to so-called free themselves or self-identify or get some type of solace for trauma. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Our own people tell us, shut up, don't, or you're looking in the past. Stop looking in the past.
They ain't looking in the past.
Muhammad speaking, right?
Yeah.
Muhammad, right?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay, what he was bringing up issues that, he was bringing up issues that was real issues, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
But he's
so we
saying,
still ain't got justice and solace.
When you, oh, go ahead. No, I was saying he also was saying that by people not knowing history, not doing no research, and not knowing what's up, by people being silent, this is what they trying to put in. And once they put this in, they're gonna try to arrest you for it. See, they're going way over the top.
Well, yeah. I mean, just going back to, like you said, the Little Rock Nine, you know what I'm saying? Certain thing, like you said, on certain campuses that was definitely been doing, UCLA, all the stuff that the evidence we got, what they were doing with so-called black bodies on these college campuses.
Kent State.
There you
today.
go. See what I'm saying?
About it. Yeah, this happened today.
Ain't nobody talking about it. See,
nobody know
that's
about
because they own slick shit, Frank. So guess what? We're gonna come up with some trauma. We're gonna come up with some these people are strategic, dog. They be knowing this stuff be happening here. They know so you don't bring it back up. So when you do, it still look. It's not gonna be on the name. It's not. Nobody gonna talk about it. The fact that we participate now. Now we say, oh no, don't man, don't talk about this. Don't bring it up. But we'll sit around and allow them to talk about all the shit they claim.
Yep, you allow them to talk about it. Whoa, yeah. You good?
He's right though. You're right.
Man, Frank, you know, goddamn, I started playing Darren Harvey. You know they could. Yeah. Because Frank sound like in a time warp, man.
I mean, see, what is so? I mean, honestly, the crazy thing about it is that was a bipartisan bill too.
Of course, it's a bipartisan.
That's why I've been telling people, man. I don't know why. I don't know, man.
Of course, I don't know why bipartisan, man. Come on,
loving these. But see, people need to stop paying attention to a lot of these white conservatives too. They need to stop it because they're full of shit. You know what I mean? They do that because they know the base wants to hear certain narratives. You hear what I said?
Yep.
They know that base, wants to hear certain things. So that's what they tell them. But at the same time, why would you? How un-American is that? To be sending money from here over to Israel. How American is that? So I mean, I don't understand these Republicans and these conservatives. Why would you be for that? And then you call yourself doing stuff for the American people. You see, notice BJ on one end, they say that the Democrats are stripping American people of their rights and they're doing this and that and treating the American people this and that. But then on the other end, they do the same thing. You see, does that make sense?
No, it does not make sense. That makes sense.
No, but it doesn't make sense what I just said. That makes sense what I just said.
No, it makes sense what you said. Definitely, yeah. All right. Let's see. There's a lot of articles in this HR 69. Reading Bible can be considered anti-Semitic. Listen closely.
Consider this your sign to stock up on sign. Because right now, at Vistaprint, all signs are 20% off. So you can bring in business.
Because we have a better bill. There's a better bill out there called the Countering Anti-Semitism Act. That's bipartisan, is bicameral, and is something that would do a better job to be able to address the concerns of anti-Semitism, to be able to make sure, not just in terms of education and college campuses, but it would actually create a position for a national coordinator on anti-Semitism. And it is also something that would put resources in. This is one of the top priorities, resources in to be able to make sure that religious institutions, whether temples, synagogues, churches, mosques, can be able to get funding for their own protection. So that's a much more comprehensive approach. But the speaker decided to go in a more narrow and, in my opinion, political approach. And I think that that was the wrong decision.
There were a lot of concerns about First Amendment in this particular case and exactly what widening the definition would mean to also acknowledge the rights of these protesters. Where do you come down on that?
I think that's why these other bill would do better, because it doesn't narrow the definition in a way that would be then challenging. I mean, like, look, the whole point of the definition that was pushed by this legislation you referred to, even the author of that definition said that this is not how it was supposed to be used. It was intentionally called a non-legally binding definition. And then the idea that we would put it into U.S. law is the wrong approach.
And that's
Amid
crazy,
the
man.
unrest on.
That's the, man. See, the government.
That is exactly crazy. So go ahead and speak on it, because this gonna be, because we're gonna really have to go through. I'm not gonna read this whole bill again like I did the other night, but I'm gonna show you where to find this bill at. Look what they're doing. You got things in there even where they're gonna talk about biblical verses soon will be considered that. And basically, like you're saying, you can't boycott Shaq. I know they cut you off, man. You know, I knew it once I played something about Darren. I already knew that shit was coming. I ain't even tell you a lie. I already knew that. So you ain't worried about it. Go ahead.
What are you talking about? Me or Shaq?
Talking shit. He got knocked off, or he was kicked out or something, I guess. I don't know. But Darren is right. They showing that they got power. That they using their power. Power of the purse. They showing you what they got.
But see, that's why, you know, if these people, these so-called, you know, the Creed people, if there was a different kind of like skin tone, even though they still claiming the same thing, you know, the faith and everything, or whatever, they're trying to say that's the race of people, whatever, because they're trying to mimic themselves after in the Bible, well, I don't know, or whoever, whatever. Then they wouldn't be treated. They wouldn't be treated like this. I think it's another issue with them being the white complexion. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's another reason why they didn't treat it like that too. But you know, these politicians, man, don't trust them. Don't vote for them. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your faith in these people, man, because they're selling you out. Because all this is messing with the First Amendment. What you think, right? I mean, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
in the HR 69 part, they say that it's not against the First Amendment, but I know they lying, so I ain't got to worry.
But just like this is like these little janky gun bills and laws that they be making, trying to like come after the Second Amendment. Yeah. You know, it's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, Shaq, yeah, cut you off, but I know. But you were saying that what they're doing is way out of bounds, but people don't know that. No, I guess they don't even care.
Well, it seems like they're trying to make sure that they are the only ones that's allowed to have
a voice.
Yeah, voice, man, and pretty much they transgressions shouldn't be publicly discussed, right? Unless it's them discussing it themselves, right? And that's now why. Now let's watch this. Then why don't other people of that particular social group, belief system, why they don't speak up? Why they don't speak up? Because you know what I mean? Because
Hey,
they want something specifically done for them. And I could have sworn the vice president, now known vice president, said she was not going to specifically do anything for black people.
she did, but she didn't say.
And they
Hey,
got in here
but she didn't
and
say she
they end
wasn't
up.
doing nothing for Jewish people though.
Well, no, they're not gonna see. That's what I'm saying. See, they're not gonna make. They're not gonna say that. They're not gonna say, "Oh, you ain't Hispanic if you don't vote for me." They're not gonna say you ain't Christian. You ain't. You know what I'm saying? Muslim if you don't vote for me. They're not gonna do that.
Mm.
And it's somehow the people that allegedly supposed to be representing us. They the ones supposed to check that situation.
Mm.
They didn't.
They
They
didn't do
allowed
it.
it to go.
They
They
didn't do
allowed
it.
it. They allowed it to go on. So one's got to say. One got to raise the question: are they our representatives?
You're right.
They got representatives. See, they got representatives once they get in, they in positions that
Mm.
just so happen, we're gonna put the air quotes up that they are allegedly
Yeah,
Jewish in
they
these
rep-
positions
yeah,
that
they
they get
represent. Yeah. They
that they
represent Jewish.
represent right, they represent their people. So question is why we don't got representation? That's the question.
Mm.
Where's the representation at?
Hey, look. As long as you vote on election day, they don't give a damn if you got representation or not. That's how funny this shit is. But
Yeah, we ain't got no representatives, man.
but
Because even our representatives allegedly weren't supposed to be. We still sharing representation with other groups, or other social groups, or other.
of course,
You know what I mean?
it's a game, man. It's all game. Let me play this for you, Shaq. It's all game. Just listen. It's all game.
College campuses, the U.S. House yesterday passed a bill to define anti-Semitism for the federal Department of Education by adopting the controversial International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition. The vote was 320 to 91 with heavy support from Democrats to codify the definition into Title IX so that colleges and universities can enforce federal
So I made a mistake.
anti-discrimination laws.
I think it was 320 Democrats. I say Republicans, but 91 Republicans I know voted. 91, it was either flip-flop, one or the other. I know 91 people voted, and some people abstained, and they had 320 that voted. But it might have been 320 Republicans, too. I can't remember.
And in effect, address reports of rising anti-Semitism at college demonstrations. Washington, D.C. correspondent Ben Hulek joins me with more details on the bill and a piece he's written about a reauthorized surveillance law giving the government more access to personal data. Ben, good to see you as always. I want to start first with what the Alliance uses as a definition and what came up on the floor about why that's so controversial.
Well, it broadly expanded the definition of anti-Semitism to include criticism of the state of Israel as a nation. And the controversy here stems from the
hold on. Stop there before you go even farther. Stop that. Did y'all hear what he just said?
You heard what he said?
Criticism of Israel, right?
Right. That's the whole fabric of I could say politics or whatever. Everything is critiquable, correct?
Man, that's real.
Okay, so they want to be uncritiquable? Is that what he said? You see, that's very extreme to say that we want to write a law so we can't be criticized. What? What?
Oh no.
Just think of even if this don't get passed, think of the mind state of these individuals. That's pushing this. They say that Israel should not be criticized. Jewish people, really just say Jewish people of Israeli citizenship should not be criticized.
I'm right. I got it. So it was 300 The bill sailed through by 391 bipartisan vote with 70 House Democrats and 21 House Republicans voting against it. So actually, you had 70 House Democrats vote against it and 21 House Republicans vote against it. But that still means the majority of Congress.
So who are the individuals? What are they who do they identify as?
Well, one of them, believe it or not, that voted against it was Jerry Nadler, who claimed to be Jewish. He voted against it. But I need to go look at this bill. No, I don't need to go look at the bill. I don't read the bill. I played the show. I need to find out every one of them people's names that voted on this shit.
Who voted against it though? That we know of, like major people. Was it Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Jerry Nadler.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Matt Gaetz. But I told you there's some Democrats too, because they said some protected speech in there. But we got to find out. And I'm gonna tell you something. They usually let you know who vote on these things, right?
The fact that it even got to this position, though, like that's what I'm saying, the mentality for somebody to propose it, because it has to go through. I would imagine it has to go through different levels of scrutiny and saying that, hey, okay, this is okay for us to present it, to even present it. I'm talking about even to present it to Congress or any committee. And then publicly put it out, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they're making a declaration. This is a declaration, yo. That's all this is. It's a self-identified declaration. We can do the same thing. But the question is it going to get passed? Who's going to pass it? And like we never, ever has not, and this is the lie that miscrewed and do too. Oh, black folks don't want nothing, don't never do nothing. Well, excuse me. Was we not against Jim Crow? Was we not against redlining? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Was we not against what they consider slavery or enslavement or? And see, we got some of our people that play into the narrative and say that, oh well, black folks don't want nothing. They never ask for nothing. They don't do nothing. No, the representatives in the position, they don't even present it to these individuals, and then when they do present it, it just get kicked up under the rug.
Exactly.
Benign neglect.
Benign neglect all day.
Well, let me let this clown continue with his bill.
Welch debate and free speech on places like college campuses. Some House Democrats, one in particular, stuck out to me, Jerry Nadler of New York, who is also Jewish, said criticism alone of Israel, and I'm roughly paraphrasing, that does not amount to discrimination. That is not anti-Semitism. So it's a fine line between what is hate speech and what is free speech. And that's really the core of the controversy here.
And yet a lot of Democrats supported this bill. How did New Jersey's delegation vote?
Everyone, well, of course, Donald Payne has died, but everyone, save for Andy Kim and Bonnie Watson-Coleman, voted for the bill. And actually walked just past Bonnie Watson-Coleman's office recently, about half an hour ago. She has a poster outside that says, I oppose anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. And that's really the core here. It's possible to do both. And that's really what Kim and she
Islamic phobia. Now, none of this stuff is against the law, but they're trying to make it. See, they're trying to codify it and make it a law.
Was really not on the docket. It probably, from this perspective, at this point, it probably doesn't stand much of a chance. It's really a messaging bill in a lot of ways. This is a way to show the country at a time when college campuses have been roiled by demonstrations that the House is doing something, that Congress is doing something. But of course, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has called for Israel and citizens of Israel to vote out the prime minister there, Benjamin Netanyahu, over his the ongoing war in Gaza, on Gaza. So theoretically, yes, it could become law, but there are a lot of things to do. There's a budget that needs to be passed.
Yeah.
FAA needs to be reauthorized. There's a farm bill. This was not high on the agenda.
Don't forget that most of
Okay, well,
these
then let me switch
individuals that's
gears to
claiming to
something
be
that did get
Jewish
done,
and from
which was
Israel,
reauthorizing the Foreign Intelligence
Israelis
Surveillance
have dual
Act.
citizenship.
What's different
Keep that in
now
mind too.
about this? Because there was a lot of talk. It's reminiscent of
Not
the
all.
9/11 era. What's different in this act?
Right. This is sort of generation. It's a few generations removed from Patriot Act, which was, and in particular, Section 702, which is a program that allows U.S. intelligence agencies to collect data on foreign nationals. Now, what's new here is that Congress has expanded, and the president signed into law, a broad expansion that allows these intelligence agencies to cast a broader net. It used to be, before this became law, that if the FBI, say, wanted information on a U.S. official, a U.S. individual who'd been communicating with a foreign national, they would go to someone like Verizon or Google to demand those companies turn over their data on this person. Now, potentially any company that is really connected to a Wi-Fi router could be subject to the government coming and knocking on its door and saying, hey, we'd like.
That's what I wanted you to hear. Anybody connected to a Wi-Fi router, you can have the government come knock on your door. That means include me, goddammit. Just want to hear that. They said they were using section of the Patriot Act. Got you again. See? He's telling you what the deal is. I mean, he's being honest with you. I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? I mean, hey, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
This digital information on person X.
So if I'm at a Starbucks, a coffee shop, some type of business that's enabling me to get free public Wi-Fi, they could be asked to hand over their data and have access to this information?
Correct. Now, the caveat here, there are some entities that were exempt, like hospitals, I believe, were exempt, but there's sort of a triangulation going on. So you still have to be communicating with a foreign individual to have your data potentially searched. But that's really the nature of the internet, of modern life. We are on WhatsApp, emailing, calling abroad. It is essentially a broader fishing net, a broader approach to gathering U.S. intelligence that, again, is connected to foreign data, but data is ubiquitous.
But also this idea of having a warrantless surveillance program, which, as I understand it, and as you reported, was a sticking point for the folks who didn't vote for it.
Correct. So Frank Pallone, in particular, voted against it, along with Jeff Van Drew, Chris Smith, both Republicans, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Democrat, and both New Jersey senators voted against it. The core demand from all of these members is a warrant. They would like to see a warrant for the government to force the government to obtain a warrant when it wants to look at the data, the private digital lives of American citizens. That has been a rising issue for, I would say, a decade plus. And there's a lot of agreement there from the left wing of the Democratic Party and the right wing, and a lot of push from privacy groups, civil liberties groups, folks like the ACLU, who view this current program as a violation of constitutional rights against illegal searches. That's the core issue.
All right, Washington correspondent Ben Hulak for us. You can check out his full piece on our website, njspotlightnews.org. Thank you.
Okay. All right. He said, oh, man. Okay, he said a lot. He said a lot. But, hey, if you connect to a Wi-Fi router, Starbucks, anybody you at, they can turn over your record and say, hey, we need to monitor this person. See how far they're going with this, Frank? See how far they're going?
Man.
They going way over the top.
I mean, but the government, you know, they let it, you know, that's obviously what they want, man, you know.
Hey, man.
You know, and then you know, they bipartisanly voting for shit like this. You know what I mean? And
Bernard, are you being anti? The state arrests you for anti-Semitism. What I do?
Then the dude tried to point out, oh, you know, one Democrat, you know, he's Jewish himself, and he even voted. Yeah, he voted against it because it's ridiculous. It sounds crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You actually, you know, you're messing with our rights, but they really showing you we don't have rights, really. Keep it 100 with you. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You know, this is tyrannical shit, man. But they're really letting these people, these Creed people, man, they're really letting these people just get out of hand with this so-called power that they think that they have. So
let's call it what it is. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
It's collusion, dog, and it's biased to its up-team power.
Right, collusion.
Yeah, it's a tyranny. They form an tyranny government sector, man. Because if you're going to only allegedly protect, which it ain't really protected because the Constitution does not specifically identify anybody by race, religion, color, creed, anything. So now, where are you trying to write this in? Because now everybody should have their own declaration, which everybody should have their own declaration, right? Of what they individually, or what they want to identify as, and what is harmful to them. But I got a question. How far are we gonna go with this? If I'm anti-cow's milk or anti-lactose because it, you know, does something to me, how far can I push that?
They might come with that too. But yep, it might come with that too. So this is why me and you and Dawson had a talk yesterday, right? About reading information, et cetera, right? Remember we talked about that yesterday, Shaq? And when you don't read or research anything, you don't know what these people got planned. I've been telling them about this for the years, what they plan, what they trying to do. I told you when Biden got in, I mean, got the Communist Manifesto, the New World Order, all this stuff they got going on, ain't nothing but daggone power grab. They're gonna try to enact all this stuff because you got to understand something. They really don't care if Donald Trump get back in office. You know why? Because they get this legislation passed. This shit ain't getting none done. This ain't getting none done. Not this shit. Because you better understand who holds the seat of the power or the throne. This could be like the Hunger Games, Enemy of the State, Menace to Society, and every movie you saw, put in one. Put even the Godfather in there. This thing will be bad. But, well, it's already bad. Now, this is the U.S. literacy rate. And we talked about this yesterday, Shaq. Only 57% of adults in the United States have proficient literacy skills, and nearly 32 million adults are functionally illiterate. This means they cannot read above a basic level or complete tasks such as filling out a job application or interpreting a simple set of instructions. Even more alarming that these numbers have not improved in decades. Interesting. 14% of U.S. adults cannot read. 21% of adults will read below a fifth grade level. 19% of high school graduates can't read. 43% of adults with low literacy live in poverty. 50% of adults with low literacy do not have a job. 85% of juvenile offenders have low literacy skills. 3/4 of state inmates did not graduate high school. 2/3 of students who cannot read persistently by the end of fourth grade will end up on jail on welfare. 1 in 4 children in America grows up without learning how to read. 32 million can't read. 14% function literate. 21% read below fifth grade level. 19% of high school graduates can't read. 42 million adults can't read past fifth grade level. 50% of adults in the U.S. can't read a book written at 8th grade level. 33% of fourth graders in the U.S. cannot read at a basic level. 20% of high school students can't read. 2/3 cannot read by the end of fourth grade. 75% of state prison inmates did not graduate high school. 1 in 6 are not reading proficient in third grade, will not graduate from high school on time, a rate 4 times greater than that for proficient readers. Only 1 in 3 children who enter kindergarten with below literacy skill will need read proficiency by third grade. 1 in 3 low-income children doesn't have any books at home. Yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit there. Any comments, questions, or concerns? As they say.
Who collected this data?
And the article say bright futures, I think. But let's go. You need to find out who connected this data. That's right. But I will say this. It ain't, of course it's flawed, but some of this shit ain't too far off neither. It could be far off, but when it comes to this financial literacy thing, it might be right. Because
yeah,
we go to this next section.
It depends on who, like I said, they can apply this to. They can apply this to any group of people. You know what I'm saying? Because truthfully, like a lot of foreigners coming to this country, obviously they wouldn't be able to read and write on the 5th grade level because they don't know the language. They have to be trained, right? Correct. So who are they directing this? I mean, like I said, I ain't saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, what is this? What is the overall mission and goal by collecting this data and putting it out? Like, who's, you know?
So let me put this up. Additional facts on U.S. literacy statistics. Adults unable to read, understand basic financial documents, 46%. Food stamp participants performing at lowest 2 levels of literacy, 75%. Employers having difficulty filing positions due to lack of qualified candidates, that's 90%. Americans lacking basic literacy skills required for most jobs in the U.S., 77 million. And high school seniors proficient or advanced in reading. And by 2021, that's 37%. All right, so that's that. Okay, the most literate states they say in the U.S. are New Hampshire, Alaska, Vermont, Minnesota, Montana, Maine, North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and Iowa. I mean, now I ain't no genius, man, but who they claim the majority of people living in them states are?
Better believe it.
All right, now I know Vermont got a lot of junkies up there, man. I'm not crazy, man. Come on, man. So Utah, that's Mormon territory, right? Iowa got some bad areas too. North Dakota, Minnesota. Well, Minnesota got a lot of Somalis too. Alaska, I haven't studied too much on Alaska recently. And New Hampshire. But these numbers, I mean, like these people they got the highest literacy rates in the country. So I'm like, now look, let's go to the lowest literacy rates. New Mexico is number 1. California is number 2. Frank. Texas is number 3. Literacy rate at 71.8. Mississippi, 71.8. Louisiana, 72.0. Nevada, 74.7. New York, 75.6. Alabama, 76.1. Florida, 76.3. And Georgia, 76.4. Now, all right. What's the difference here? What's the outside of California, New Mexico, and maybe Nevada? What's the difference here? The lowest literacy rates, what they look like? They probably look like me and you, don't they? I know Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana in there. I see New York in there. They might out of melting pot. Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. But Georgia got the lowest literacy rate, so they say. What the hell going on around here, man? Okay, this is students. And this is all the way down. Go to brightfuturesny.com and get this article. Factors contributing to child illiteracy are: if you come from a low-income home, you can more likely experience food insecurity, which can negatively impact your development and lead to lower literacy rates. In fact, children who experience food insecurity are twice as likely to have below average reading skills compared to their peers who do not experience food insecurity. Dyslexia is a common learning disability that affects reading and writing skills. It's estimated that 1 in 5 students have dyslexia. That's a lot. Yet only 1 in 50 teachers receives training in dyslexia intervention. Limited access to early childhood education can also lead to child literacy. Children who come from homes where English is not the primary language spoken may also be a disadvantage to become literate. Chak, you mentioned that point earlier. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, English language learners have lower average reading scales than non-English language. Very interesting. How many adults can I read? Near 30. Oh, I already went to that earlier. Yeah, okay. The sources of this thing, Chak, are National Assessment of Educational Progress, Annie Casey Foundation. So I already know some bullshit. National Institute for Literacy, Feeding America, the Lexington Center of Utah, National Institute for Early Education Research, the State of Preschool Yearbook, National Center for Education Statistics 2021, the Nation's Report Card, Reading 2019 through 20 Minnesota. So that's all your links and information you can find out. Go find the article and they're going to tell you more about it, okay? So that's very interesting. Just putting it out there to you. So,
okay, so with this research, what's the plan, though? With this research, what's the plan, though? What's the agenda for collecting this data?
You got a son, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you've been on him. I hear you talking to him. He's very smart. So you got to grab him and talk to him. Other people got to do the same.
Yeah, because obviously, and it's really is our fault as individuals to just only allow.
My bad, you got a daughter too. So let me not throw her out the box. You got a daughter too. My bad.
Oh, yeah, only to allow the state and or government and or federal government or whatever to give you your necessities, like you said, your cultural beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Your standards of life. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about food security too. Some of these children, I forgot to mention, that's a lie too, because some of these children, I know a chick. Her son was, I ain't never been 149, 150 pounds. Her son bigger than me at 11 years old. He was 190 pounds. He didn't even want to go to school because he said they were teething. So that's a lie. They ain't food insecure. It's about what they eat. That's a lie too. So, point out there. As a matter of fact, Shaq, you know what? I'm gonna pull up this thing about this geoengineering too, but I want to pull up something about Walmart that happened yesterday. Because
yeah, hold on. Yeah, one second though before you go, Frank. What did you have on information he just put out? I just want to hear what he was coming out of his perspective.
You're talking about the I'm just talking about these what you were just talking about?
Yeah, what we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, the low literacy rate, you know what I'm saying, that they're saying is going on, you know. Reading levels, educational, financial literacy rates are low.
I think you had a good point when you're saying about the foreigners. That's a good point too. A lot of these people are like third generation and all that. They're not even, you know what I mean? So that contributes a lot to it too. And plus too, man, I mean, these institutions ain't doing exactly the best either on teaching these kids. So, you know, let's just keep it real, you know. So it's like that, like I said, man, like the kind of the statistics you were showing. But it's a school to prison pipeline, man. It's just like, why make, you know, we could make so much money making more prisons, you know what I mean? And you know that these schools are failing. So you make more prisons and you don't invest in the schools, and you get a lot more money on the back end from the prison than the school. It's all, you know, they sabotaging us, man. At the end of the day, man, it's all just one big cycle that they got us playing into. You see what I'm saying? And that's why they pushing the type of music that they pushing on the kids, man. Right? So that they could end up in that cycle. And it's not even just like the fact that school is contributing as far as the information. I mean, learning to read, that's just, and certain math is essential. But a lot of other stuff is BS in the school. But the thing is about school, it keeps the kids occupied for a certain amount of time throughout the day. You see what I'm saying? And when you got a lot of time on your hands as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when they get into trouble. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, man, they're failing these schools on purpose so that they can make more prisons, you know? It's just like,
here we go. Could this contribute to your low literacy rate? I'm just asking a question. I'm not sometimes I ask questions.
Right now, check your refrigerator, check your freezer. Walmart is recalling more than 16,000 pounds of ground beef because it could be contaminated with E. coli. The meat was shipped to Walmart stores across the country. This recall affects several products, including both patties and trays of ground beef, ground chuck, and ground sirloin. The USDA says you should throw the meat away or return it to the store.
Well, I don't know about returning to the store, because if you return it to the store, they might resell it. I wouldn't do no shit.
Man.
But you.
Now, what about the refund?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, we need that. We definitely need a refund now.
Yeah, I'm right. Come on, throw it away. No, I need the refund, player.
No.
I will throw it away. So I'm gonna toss it. But I need my refund. How much? Now, how much money? Well, man,
How much money is
that's crazy.
16,000 pounds of beef? How much money is that? Yeah, ask the right question.
God damn, Frank.
That is. Hey, could that contribute to your low read? I'm just asking.
Hey, man, it all connects, bro. It all connects. It all connects. But
Because I would imagine bad food can drop your literacy rate too.
well, that's I would say that's one of the leading causes of the results that we're getting.
So Renette, let's
You know what I mean?
Right.
When they talked about food deserts, what's a food desert? What's the life expectancy of a allegedly food desert area? And what is the likely expectancy of, I guess you can say, literacy, comprehension, just basic comprehension and hand-eye coordination and mental health.
Right.
Because it all go together.
That's true.
Right? Right?
That's a very
And that prime example, let me go a little bit deeper before you go for it, just to give you an example, prime example. You can say, on one hand, you can say, hey, this is so because it's a single family. The mother, the father not there, right? You can use that. They can be, but they can't be the only, because what if there is the mother and father in the household? Right?
Right.
But if they still eating products, chemical-based products, only chemical-based processed food, only sugary food,
Right.
what's the results?
That's true.
What's the results? So you can't just blame it on one thing. It has to be a deeper dive, and really, you know what I mean? You can't just blame it on one, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these individuals is,
Makes sense.
I mean, you got people in families that's wealthy families, and people still got mental illness. How do you explain that? How do you explain the ones that's still got taking all a cabinet full of medication?
You know what? I was at somebody's house a couple weeks ago. Matter of fact, not even a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple of days ago. And it just happened to be, sometimes stuff you're looking for, soap or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you looking for? And I said, damn. I said, I opened up, I knocked something down, and the thing hit the cabinet. And then when I had to, I opened up the wrong, and I said, let me put this back in. And when I opened the door to the cabinet, it was a whole lot of medication. That mother. I mean, the people house. I mean, it's okay, man. But I just didn't know it was there. But that's just either here or there. So your suspicions are correct. So now I didn't ask him, and I didn't even say anything about it, because I just thought about it. It was a lot. Because it's not. Let's say, it wasn't really bad business on it. Because like I said, I just happened to drop something. I think I dropped my phone, or I dropped something, and I was looking for some soap or something, wash my hands, or no, I was looking for a napkin. I was looking for like a paper towel, and I found one. But when I opened up the thing, it just said there was a lot of medicine in there. I thought it was just what paper towel stuff was. There was a whole lot of medicine, like leaves and things like that. But at the same time, still was a whole lot of medicine in my house. So the bathroom had a medicine cabinet. That's what I'm letting you know. So you understand. So a lot of people do have medicine stocked away in their thing. And, you got
doctors. You got doctors that's on medication, on prescription. I mean, this is how deep it is. But You hear me?
Right. Yep.
Now, you know it's a problem when a patient outlives his doctor. Whoa, where we going?
Well, this is the next one I'm gonna play. This gonna get you. All right, you conspiracy theorists.
Get back to the farmers. So I understand the logic of where this probably started in the 1800s, right? They're thinking droughts. We want to prevent droughts. We need to grow crops. We have a growing population. We have people to feed. Farmers are thinking, if I could get some rain, right, that would be pretty cool.
Right.
And I would imagine that to people that sounded like, wow, you mean we might be able to somehow figure out a way to force the atmosphere to give us rain so that we don't have droughts and people starve.
That's right.
Is that where this started? Was they were thinking we
that's
just
right.
need rain?
That's right. And the thing is that there's these unintended consequences. And any geoengineer will tell you, if they're an honest one, is that you actually can't predict the outcome. It's so dynamic. You don't really know what the end result is going to be. So while you're over here trying to create more rain, that means you're stealing rain from somewhere else. And there have been nations in the Middle East who have said, hey, we're watching you steal our rain, and it's raining here and blocking the rain clouds. And they've gone up and they've tried to sue because of that. So it did start out that way, and it seemed like it could be no problem. But the problem is that back in the early 1900s, they did have massive damage done with floods and so on and broken dams. And what today is that though it is required by federal law to report your weather modification programs, and if you go to NOAA and you look at their weather modification program reporting, there's almost 1,000 different reports on this, right? It's so generalized that it's not being put out into the mainstream, not being published in the print, saying, hey, from this date to this date, these are the 1,000 square miles that we're going to be modifying the weather, and you need to know if there's any problems, right? If dams break, if there's any flooding, if there's any excess snow, anything like that, let us know. None of that happens. So it's being reported, but it's so generalized that the public has no idea when it's happening.
Well, who is in charge of it? Can an individual farmer on a farm today decide to just start spraying stuff in the air to try to get rain on his farm?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Just has to let you know. Yeah. You can, yeah, absolutely. And what they do is they say, okay, this is what we're spraying, silver iodide, proprietary spraying. This I'm like, I could go out there and spray silver iodide, but also just throw in a few little mRNA, vaccines too. And nobody asks. So it's not like it's being vetted and approved. It's just like, tell us what you're doing and you get a stamp of approval. So
sure,
that's one reason why we're going after Make Sunsets, which is a startup company that got banned in Mexico last year for in the Baja California area, weather modify their area. And so they actually banned geoengineering, experimental geoengineering, which is kind of ironic because all geoengineering is experimental. They never really know the outcome. So now Make Sunsets is working out of Reno, and they're doing the same thing where they've gone through NOAA saying, we actually want to basically do this around the whole entire world for the next 200 years. It's actually in their one-page little tiny contract. It's not contract, but their application, or I would say form, really, report. And the hubris around this, just complete hubris. And they're doing it for solar dimming, essentially, which again is under the whole climate change realm.
Solar dimming?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to before we go to that, because that's let's stay with the rain for just a second here. So are there commercial companies selling products to farmers saying spray this in the air and you might get rain on your farm?
No, not so much. They're paying farmers and aviation companies quite handsomely, actually, to go out there and spray on certain days. They look at the right atmospheric conditions when the storms are coming in. You can't do this unless there's a storm coming in. You can't just do it with a clear sky and without clouds and so on. And
who's paying them?
A lot of times it's actually the irrigation districts. It's the power companies like Pacific Gas and Electric and so on. It could be actually a research organization. It could be a university. It could be a corporation. And they pay them handsomely to go do this. And so there's actually, believe it or not, if you're having a wedding, outdoor wedding, and you want to make sure that you don't have rain that day, you can actually go out there and pay companies to spray and to ensure there's no rain for your outdoor wedding. It's about $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'd have to be a rich person, very, very wealthy, right? But
yeah,
the privilege of the wealthy, I suppose. They now get to manipulate the weather. So, so they've been wanting to try to manipulate weather for 100 years, longer, couple hundred years, right? Or how long is that? Over 150 or something. They've been attempting to do this. They figured out, okay, you know, fires is one way. Now they moved on to chemicals, maybe a mixture of both, right? They're kind of doing whatever they can. So that's on the farming level. I understand that. How prevalent. I understand why a farmer would think this is a good idea.
Well,
why even communities and cities would think it's a good idea.
This is the power companies. It's Pacific Gas and Electric.
Why would the power companies think it's a good idea?
Hydroelectricity. So it's this is Pacific Gas and Electric. This is Southern Edison, right, in Southern California. These are power companies. They're doing that. They're doing it more than anything. And now our government is really pushing for more weather modification, and they're really pushing for the solar dimming. They want to explode it. I mean, like just exponentially increase it. Yeah.
So tell us now about solar dimming. I still want to get to like the commercial airliners and the ships and what they're doing, because I know. But what is solar dimming?
So solar dimming was really pushed big time by a gentleman named Keith Davies, and he is a guy who, among a few other ones, who is like the grandfather of, yes, this is going to cost your grandchildren, but it's worth it. And the objective is under the umbrella of
an idea. Let's mess around with the sun. Oh gosh.
So, you know, photosynthesis, growing your food.
Just stay inside. You know, if you don't want to get any sunshine, just go inside.
Right. You're right. Vitamin D, who needs that? So your solar panels and so on. And
but they're trying to stop drought, like heat waves and droughts, right? So so they're thinking the climates that we're increasing in heat, and so they're trying to figure out to cool the earth.
Yeah, they're trying to just reduce the sun exposure, essentially. But what happens is it actually traps in the heat. So
how would you even go about dimming besides putting a roof over your head or getting an umbrella out there?
Well, there's many different things they can do. I mean, there's lots of different things they can do. I mean, they can do different type of aluminum, you know, sulfur. And they're experimenting with a lot of other different things as well.
Are they trying to create cloud?
So I want y'all to go to the Kim Evans show on this one, but they are doing a lot of spraying, geoengineering, and cloud seeding on this one. Yes, that is exactly what they're doing. They are really doing it. So hey Frank.
Yeah.
Let me let you hear this, man. Let me play this, man.
So the fun thing with the serpent is, how does the serpent talk? What? And not only that, but why is the serpent's punishment?
I gotta go about the next 25 to 20, 30 minutes. But look, check this out. Yeah, Frank, Chak, you're right about the vitamin D and stuff. All this.
There's a cure on there.
All this spraying and all that. Chemical annihilation, Chak, is the word that we use these days. Chemical annihilation. Yes. So it's very interesting. Laughing at this shit.
Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective. So we got yet another one. And I told you, hyenas, even the albino ones, they all think the same. They all do the same thing. They all ruin other females. They are very bent on ruining, particularly the young female. These old, bitter, single, I messed up my choices and all this kind of stuff. Women have these daughters, and then they purposely misguide them so that the misery can have company later.
Mm.
They don't want, and there are other facets to it, but I'm gonna let the short play.
Diabolical.
So you can hear this foolishness.
Do you have for us young people with relationships? Y'all don't need to be in a relationship. I'm gonna use you as an example. You're going to college. You do filming. Your extra time should be focused on you and making your content. Me as a mother, that is the worst thing that somebody can do to your daughter. Try to manipulate them into thinking that they care so much. That's what I don't want for you. I don't care what man out there tells you they got to have you. They want to spend the rest of their life with you. That's bullshit. I know people that's been married for 30 years and got a divorce. I was married for damn near 28 years and woke up one morning and walked out the door. What can a man do for you that you can't do for yourself?
I don't know, man. And shout out to the Do Better podcast. Shout out to that brother. But here's the thing. The ratchet older Humpty Dumpty built mom said a couple of things and none of them made good sense. Number one, we know that girl's dad was a black man because that little girl there is black. Mama's white. Mama married that girl's daddy and was married to him almost 30 years. She said she the one that got up and walked out. Now, we supposed to assume that the husband did something to her or was doing something to her that made her leave or that made her want to leave. And then she just got up one day and walked out. So you broke up the family. You broke up the family. Okay? This man was providing for you for 30 years. That's 3 decades. Okay? 3 decades. And we know marriages are not perfect. We know they have ups and downs. We know marriages have problems. But the issue for me is that these bitter single women, whether they single because they never got married or single because they broke their family up or whatever the case may be, the thing about it is they always, she was sitting up there saying, oh, I know people that was married 30 years and got a divorce. And the thing about that is you have to try. There's a lot of things that you're going to do in your life that may or may not work out to the degree that you wanted them to, or they may not do what you thought, or the outcome may not have been what you planned. That's people doing anything. That's people starting businesses. That's people going into education. That's people starting new jobs. That's people relocating in another part of the world, or that's people just making any kind of significant decision or change or in their life that's going to affect the rest of their life. You have to take a gamble. You have to take a calculated gamble on what you're going to do, because there's no guarantee in any decision. There isn't a guarantee that this young lady will never be with a man that love her and she'll be okay with that. There's no guarantee for that. There's no guarantee she's going to be happy with that. This is the age that she should be. This is the age that she's going to get the best possible man. She's young. She's a decent looking young lady. This is where she's going to get that man from. This advice dooms her to a life of unfulfilled romance. And when I say, romantically unfulfilled, no real love, because she's going to get out here and she's not going to not have sex. She's not going to do that. So she's going to run into all of these dudes, most of which are only going to want the sex from her. She's going to run into a couple of guys that want more from her. And then this stupid advice is going to be in the back of her mind. Don't let a man trap you down. Here's the other thing. The mother is bringing up what she should be focused on. And this is why I say all the hyenas do the same thing, because this is no different. This isn't any different than this advice right here. This advice here.
I said, as long as you got your own house, as long as you got your own transportation, and as long as you got your own income, it don't matter what a ninja got to say.
Okay. That's basically that advice. That's no different. What can a man do for you that you can't do for herself? Love her the way men love women. She's not going to be able to get that nowhere else. She can love herself. She can have high self-esteem. She can, but let's be real about the reality of women. When we can't find true connection with a man that's worthy, one that's really about to rock with us the long way, that's really about to ride with us the long way, that really mess with us, that really care, that really love, that really want to be there, that really go 10 toes down for you. When we can't get that, when we can't get no solid dude, never, that wears on a woman's self-esteem, because we start thinking, man, well, what's wrong with me that I can't seem to attract? I attract sex. I can attract a dude that want to come but sit down. I can even attract a dude that want to stick around for a minute or two. I can even attract a dude that want to give me money for a little bit. I can even attract, but what I can't do is maintain a meaningful, healthy, solid relationship with them. And this has been going on my whole life. It was all right when I was 18, 19, 20. It was all right when I was 25. It was starting to kind of be not okay when I was 28. I could deal with it at 30. It was a problem at 34. I'm down in the dumps about it at 38. I'm 42, still nobody. That, I don't care what feminists tell you something different. I don't care who say what. With that bothers women. It bothers us. It bothers deeply.
There was a time when I barely.
Kind of wild there. Said, they'll make sure you do what you got to do. Don't you worry about no man. I said, okay, cool. You know, that's where they going with it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let me put this up there, man. This is really, yeah.
Anytime you got Cardi B, like, no, this ain't it, and she been one of the thought leaders, it's getting real bad. This is what she had to say. Okay. So y'all are familiar with this new format of 20 versus 1, where it's 20 random chicks or whatever, and it's usually one like rapper or whomever. So it's usually 20 random girls and then a rapper, and it's almost like speed dating. It's like they gotta go up there and like the first impression, whatever they say, whatever they do, he either passes or, you know, it's like, okay, I'll accept you or I'll reject you. And so apparently anything goes on this little format show, whoever show this is. And Cardi reacted to this because apparently one of the young girls, young females, I'm not going to say young girl, but young females decided to show off her head game to a dude. And I'm just going to let you hear it. It's going to be some lunch because, of course, it's Cardi. But just listen.
Any type of animal, and they're gonna fuck all of them, and that's why men get compared to dogs, because they just don't give a fuck. So I can't even be mad at the men, but us women, we are you know, like we just like it's like what are we doing? Y'all need to get body. Y'all need to get slushing. I'm slushing you, bitch. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. And I know people are gonna drag me and whatever. Like, ain't you be this? Like I said, like you could fuck. I don't know, like as many niggas as you want. And it's like if you want to sell pussy and shit like that, you could do that. But it's like, damn, to fuck a nigga. To suck a nigga dick in less than a minute with a 2 sentence conversation is wild. Like it's like I want better for you. I want better for you. I need to teach you bitches. I need to come back and be your teacher. I need to be your teacher again. Call me, oh shit, my last name is changed now. So it's like a cage with any type of animal, and they're gonna fuck all of them. Mr. Cephas is back in session, bitch. I'm giving y'all bitches classes again. I'm going back to 2015 type shit because I need to help you hoes. I need to help you hoes. I think if y'all go find the video on Twitter, like, and time it in less than a minute. She's sucking dick in less than a minute. No vibes, no conversations. No vibes, no conversations, no transaction, no nothing. Just eating dick in the afternoon at 5 o'clock. That's crazy to me. And now you're gonna walk around the whole day, your breath smell like dick. Now it's 8 o'clock and your breath smell like dick. Like balls. And now your breath smell like balls. Mr. Cephas is gonna
ever have a gag reflex or no?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've had several.
Oh, I can show you better. I can tell you. But
video representation.
You want to find out real quick?
Yes. Can we?
Y'all can leave. Y'all can. No, you can
right
find
now.
out right now.
Right now. You ready?
Right now?
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm so serious.
Are you?
Come on. I'll be back.
Hey, you. Wait, we did it. I'm sorry, y'all.
How y'all doing? Where's the bathroom out of here?
Young ladies, I need to ask y'all a question. What do y'all think this gets you? Where do you think this puts you? Huh? Where on the totem pole do you land when you show up somewhere where it's a bunch of dudes, especially young dudes like this, just in their 20s and stuff? They're walking pieces of testosterone. All that they are I'm trying to find a tactful way to say it. Y'all know what I'm saying. He hard all day. All day. The wind blow northeasterly and it's up. It's up and it's stuck. That's all that he is in his from his teens all the way through his 20s. That's all he is. All he is testosterone. That's it. That's all. And all he think about is sexual encounters that he can have. Okay. It'll get you because he's that way. And this is why Cardi said, I can't even blame the men. You can't even say nothing to, he should have discipline or he shouldn't. No. Because the reason I'm saying no is because he doesn't have access to her unless she gives it. He didn't ask her to do that. He put no pressure to her. He didn't pressure her. It wasn't peer pressure for her to do something that she really didn't want to do. Not at all. All of that was her idea. It was her idea. She came up there and the first question she asked was about whether or not he had a girl with a no gag reflex. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I can show you. Like, he's seen it before. He just said, yeah. So you're not really about to show him nothing he ain't never experienced before, because if he done had a line of girls lining up to get him that throat, what you finna do? Okay, one may be better than the other at some point.
Wow.
This is funny, man. That's kind of bad, man. That's kind of bad, man. Like, yeah, these chicks, man, that's some funny shit.
But they don't respect themselves, man. It's like I don't understand how you would not see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. Like I don't see how they don't see that as not not respecting that stuff. But I don't even think that having a standard now is the thing for these females. They don't give a damn, you know.
All right. Yep. Hey, dang, Shaq. Just missed a video, man. There you go.
Who's that?
Girl taking the main to the back, baby. She said, "Look, she like, hey, I ain't got no gag reflex, baby."
Huh?
That's what she say.
Who is this?
Chris Secure playing video. Cardi B was saying these women, they getting out of control and they giving up. They giving
Cardi
up.
B ain't got no room. No room.
I know, right? It's crazy, but they giving up. They giving up the head in less than no transaction, no nothing. They just giving up their head. Woo!
How she know?
Well, yeah, I mean, hey, if it's up, then
I
it's
guess
stuck.
there was a video of the girl going taking her boy to the back.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he actually a bathroom in here.
Huh?
He actually a bathroom in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lost. I don't know. I missed the video, so I don't know.
Let me go back to it. I'll do it, man. I mean, look, I'm gonna go back to that part, man.
Crazy, man.
It's kind of crazy.
You got some sloppy Joe?
Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe.
Here, right here.
Access to her unless she gives it. He didn't ask her to do that. He put no pressure to her. He didn't pressure her. It wasn't pure pressure for her to do something that she really didn't want to do. Not at all. All of that was her idea. It was her idea. She came up there and the first question she asked was about whether or not he had a girl with a no gag reflex. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I can show you. Like, he's seen it before. He just said, yeah. So you're not really about to show him nothing he ain't never experienced. Young ladies, I need to ask y'all a question. What do y'all think? What do y'all think this gets you? Where do you think this puts you? Huh?
Have video representation.
You want to find out real quick?
Yes. Can we?
Y'all can leave. Y'all can. No, you can
right
find
now.
out right now.
Right now. You ready?
Right now?
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm so serious.
Are you?
Come on. I'll be back.
All right. Wait, we did it. I'm sorry, y'all.
How y'all doing? Where's the bathroom out of here?
Ooh, boy.
Now, what is this? A reality show or something?
I don't know what the hell this was, but I can't. This video she playing, baby. She said she got the deep throat. I don't know what the hell going on, but Cardi B said ain't no transaction made and nothing. Like, what's going on? She want them girls to do better for themselves. Stop giving away it so easy, I guess. I think that's very hypocritical.
Man, what the hell? Wow.
Man. Crazy stuff, man. But hey, this is the part, life of the party, man. You know, hey, man, that's how it goes, man. But hey, what it is. Hey, look, we just got to be a little bit, more strategic in what we're doing. Like I said, but she broke down the video of the woman who claims she was married before. Told her you don't need no man, blah blah blah. Do you need to do what you do and all? You know the deal. Same old script, same old drip, right? But
damn,
did what it is. That's pretty much it. So I got to run off. But go ahead, Frank. Chak, shout your information.
What up? You know what I'm saying? Another good show, good topics, man. You know what I mean? That little anti-Semitism bill, man. That stuff is mad tyrannical, man. So I just think, man, we got to keep putting the pressure on that, man, because that's crazy, man. That right there is taking away a lot of different rights at one different time, man. That First Amendment is under siege, man. All because of I guess it's a creed or religion, but then they call it a race. I don't know what the hell. I guess it's whatever the hell they say it is. I don't know.
Whatever the hell they say it is. That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? So gotta keep putting the pressure on these people, man. Just keep making people aware. You know what I mean? So So hit me up. XX Frank Nitty XX YouTube, XX Frank Nitty XX on Instagram, and also Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram. All right, now hit me up.
Go ahead, Shaq.
Oh man, yeah, man. Damn, Frank. Hands on your knees, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? What's the girl say? Baby mama say hands on your knees.
Yeah, she did say that.
Then let that breathe. Damn, Frank. Then let that breathe. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Yeah, I would say, proper place, proper time for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of stuff is private stuff should be private. You know what I'm saying? And keep it in the private dog. But yeah, you can check me out, man. Shaq Edwards on Instagram. Shaq Edwards on Facebook.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Like I said, this is very interesting, very entertaining. I mean, you can get me at kingbmedia.com. You want to send an email, BernardJohnson10@yahoo.com. Bernard Johnson Facebook, Bernard1120 Instagram, and 1987BJ1 on Twitter. You want to cash out $ 1919BJ. This thing is getting real. Okay? It's getting real. But get your head out of the sand, or you could be wishing you walk. Well, I ain't. No, that's kind of like some other stuff. Burning sands, but hey, they putting their feet to the fire. So, with that being said, take your time. Have a good day. Get back on it.
All right, peace, man. All right.